Hey, Hal here. I want to talk a little bit about our partnership with OnX Hunt. I've been using it for a while now, and if anybody knows me, they know I'm not a very techie person, but the OnX app is it's a real time saver. I remember the days when we poured over topo maps everywhere we was going to go and stuff, and I don't do that quite as much anymore. Where it's really helped me is scouting, whether it's deer scouting, a moose, or even turkey hunting in the spring, which I do. It really helps out. I don't have to spend as much time running around the truck burning up the gas. I'm just basically using my OnX. Got it on my phone. Don't even carry a GPS anymore. So I just download the areas where I'm going to be hunting, whether it's up north moose hunting, and I use it mostly on the satellite imagery. I like to see the cuts and the clearings and the turkey hunting, the hidden fields and stuff. But everybody's using it now, from the game wardens to land surveyors, and just a great tool. And with our partnership with OnX, if you use a code BWB, you're going to receive 20% off on your first premium or elite memberships. And you just go to onxmaps.com/hunt. You'll be glad you did. Good luck on the trail.
This is the Big Woods Bucks podcast. Come explore the big woods and timber in North America with your host, Maine master guide and deer tracking expert Hal Blood. Listen to Hal and co-hosts Lee Libby and Joe Kruse as they unlock the secrets of big woods whitetails. Each episode will provide valuable insights in the tried and true system Hal has used for the last 40 years to scout, locate, and hunt mature big woods bucks. Listen and laugh as the crew discusses Hal's legendary adventures and learn how to apply a lifetime's worth of lessons from the big woods to your own hunting and outdoor adventures.
Welcome to the Big Woods Bucks podcast. I'm your host, Hal Blood, sitting over here in the lovely Bryant Pond, Maine, wherever that is, with my co-host, Tucker Carlson. Wait a minute. He's our guest. My co-host is Joe Kruse.
Hello.
And today we've got the Big Cheese CEO, Chris Dalti, with us.
Hello.
I guess he's hosting too. And our special guest is Tucker Carlson today.
I'm honored to be here.
Glad to have you. Yeah, glad to have you.
Yeah.
Lovely place you got over here. Got a lot of relics and good stuff. So we want to talk a little bit about hunting in Maine, because that's what our folks want to hear about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been watching you a long time. I told you when we were texting, Tucker, I was watching you when you had your bow ties on back on TV.
You must be old.
I am old. I'm 66. But in my mind, I'm 19,
I know the feeling.
Yeah. Wait till you get my age, though.
I'm pretty close.
Yeah, I know. So, anyways, when did you start coming to Maine? You said you've been coming here, and
my whole life.
Your whole
to
life,
this
yeah.
town. Yep.
But you grew up in California because your father was in the Marine Corps.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my father's from New England, and he was an orphan, actually. And when he was little, he went on some program for orphans to go to the woods, and he went to Maine when he was really little.
Oh, no kidding. That's interesting.
And my mother's family, going back a long time, was actually from Wiscasset. But my father came here as a kid, and he said it sort of never left him, and he loved it. And so we grew up coming first from La Jolla, California, which is, I think, as far as you can go in the continental United States from Bryant Pond. And then we moved to Washington, D.C., to Georgetown, but we always spent the summer here. And then at one point, I thought I would live here and tried to live here, but there are no jobs in Maine, never have been. So it's very hard to make a living in Maine, as you know. And my wife too also grew up coming to Maine. So and then ultimately we just decided to move here.
Yeah.
Once we had jobs.
And you chose this area because that's where you were coming to, right?
Yeah, we never left. I actually lived in my childhood bedroom, which is a little bit weird, but we do.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
So you're here year round now.
We're here. We skipped the winter. Well, I actually come for January because I love it. But my wife doesn't love the cold quite as much as I do. But I come up to rabbit hunt in January, and my brother's also here.
Oh, nice.
He loves it too.
You got beagles?
I have spaniels, which is, my friend has beagles. Has a beagle pack for rabbit hunting.
Oh yeah,
and we
okay.
take the
Yeah.
beagles, and we have my brother has a spaniel too, and he occasionally brings a spaniel who's a little confused. They're not. I mean, they're Flushing dogs. They're not meant to run mile-long loops through the snow, so they're a little confused on the rabbit hunt. But they're great for partridge.
Yeah.
Actually, they're not great for partridge. They're really hard for partridge. But they're great dogs. Yeah. And I love them anyway.
We've hunted snowshoe hares a lot, and I've always been amazed at the work ethic of a beagle.
Oh, they're unbelievable.
4 feet of snow, you'd see them pop up and down.
They're incredible.
All day long.
And you can hear the bells in the distance.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things to do, even though, I shoot relatively few rabbits. None last year, but it didn't affect at all my love of it.
Yeah,
right.
It's upsetting, though, if you're a spaniel guy and you're used to dogs that quarter, that flush from left to right, but they're always tight, and they have to be tight, and it's in the breed. I mean, they don't range. But if you're used to that kind of dog, and we have a lot of dogs, and we live with, they sleep in the bed. We're very close to our dogs. It's infuriating to see a dog take off on a mile-long loop. You're like, well, where's the dog? But that's, they have the collars, the GPS collars. But I would, I don't need GPS collars for my dogs because if they're out of sight, like it enrages me.
Yeah.
But they don't go out of sight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, hound hunting's a little bit different.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
And they lose them. I mean, people lose their
yeah.
beagles all the time, rabbit hunting.
Yeah.
And
I lost 2 of my best ones. I had beagles my whole life. My grandfather had them, and I started rabbit hunting with beagles when I was 10 years old when I
They're
could
great
take a
dogs.
shotgun. But I lost my 2 best ones. I think people stole them, actually. But I used to just leave my dog box on the snowbank when we'd come out, and they'd be there in the morning. They'd run.
oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they weren't there, and they weren't there the next day, the next day, the next day. And there were some other hunters around from out of state, and I'm pretty sure they picked them up.
I hope so. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope someone, got them. But yeah, it's very, as a dog guy, it's very strange to me to see a dog take off into the distance and not come back. It makes me uncomfortable.
So my GSP, I always describe her as a dog that has all the talent in the world and all the drive, but an owner that didn't take the time
Yeah.
to work with her properly. So I took her out one day, and
They're amazing dogs.
she took off, and she's like what you're talking. She ranges far,
Yeah.
I had a bell on her, so she was out there probably, I don't know, 300 yards or something. So I hollered so she'd come back around, and when she came around, I saw something running in front of her. I hear the bell ding, 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 getting closer, and she's hot on the trail of a coyote. And
Ooh.
the coyote ran about 5 yards in front of me. I got the coyote, and that's the last time
Are you
she went bird hunting.
serious?
Yeah.
Driven
So she's-
coyote hunting?
So she's a coyote dog.
I love it. We have coyotes here that are not. I mean, I actually went with a friend to trap them last year, a year ago this month. I think we got 5, and none of them was a coyote. And everyone kind of, oh, they're coyotes. No, they're not coyotes. I mean, I'm 54. I remember what coyote. First of all, there were no coyotes in Maine that I remember
Right.
when I was a kid.
They moved in starting in the 50s.
Well, I don't remember in this region in the western Maine foothills. I don't remember any coyotes. And then about 10 years ago, I heard them one night. I was at our camp, and it was like midnight, and my dogs freaked out. What is that? Anyway, if you see a coyote now, they are not coyotes. I mean, that is a hybrid.
Yeah, they said they got 17% wolf gene in our coyotes. here.
At least.
Yeah.
And everyone I've asked has said, oh, no, those are coyotes. It's like, look at the jawline on that animal. Look at the chest. I mean, I have pictures on my phone. That is not a coyote. The coyotes of my childhood, I remember very well. We had a lot of them in Southern California.
Yeah.
They were like scrawny, fearful. These were like big, noble, not at all afraid. Even at the, in a trap, they were not afraid.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
we went snowshoe hunting, it was fun to bring guests. It was
Yeah.
entertaining on snowshoes Because the first thing they do is they get close to a little fir or a spruce, and they'd fall in.
Oh, into the tree well? Oh, yeah. You get
had a good time
people
with
have died doing that.
Oh, yeah. It's hard to get out. I've done
We
it
had
myself.
big snow, in our camps in Andover, Maine, which I think had more snow than any town in Maine 4 or 5, maybe 6 years ago, not that long ago.
Yeah.
Man, I dumped into a tree
Sure.
well, and my brother was there, thankfully.
Yeah.
But, at ski places in the spring, occasionally they find someone upside down in one at the melt, for real.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to take your snowshoes off and pack a trail out and walk out of it like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I've got, those are my snowshoes right there. You can see they're for
yeah.
big snow, though we haven't had big snow the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some Pine Grove snowshoes.
Yeah, those are,
Yeah.
yeah,
Made Bobby Howe there.
exactly right.
The vets make them over there.
And the prisoners.
Yeah. The prisoners.
I think the prisoners string them.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
I think that's right. He's been here. What a nice man.
He's a very nice
great
man.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does a lot of good things for a lot of
Yes.
people. Yeah.
So you we were talking before we started recording, and you were talking about bird hunting and beagle hunting. So big game hunting, you haven't done it much.
Not really. Not really. I've thought about it. I put in for a moose tag every year. I've got actually friends who will be at our camp this week moose hunting because they got the zone where our camp is. But I haven't been. I grew up, fly fishing and bird hunting, and that's kind of what I tried. My son came very close to talking me into archery a few years ago, and then I thought it's just one of those. I don't need more obsessions. I have enough.
Yeah. It's like taking up golf, right?
Well, exactly. That's exactly which I've never done, but I doubt I'd be good at it anyway. But I've got a job and 4 children, and I'm supposed to be doing things, and I'm too all in on stuff.
Yeah.
But I sure appreciate it, and people hunt at our camp every year. We have deer, but there are fewer deer this year. It's weird. I've noticed that. Where we live, yeah. I mean, I've seen moose all year. I don't think I've seen many deer at all. I saw 2 last night, but not many. Yeah. I don't know if it's the ticks. Our ticks are bad this year.
Yeah, but the ticks aren't affecting the deer any really. But I think with the deer, sometimes you don't see a lot of them in the summer because, they're kind of secretive. I mean, if places you don't have you have fields and stuff around, not too much.
Not really.
Yeah, in the woods you don't see them as much. But there should be more. I know there is up our way. There's northern Maine is actually, we had a lot of problem with they cut the traditional deer yards off. They logged them off.
Yep.
And then without them, the deer can't make it. But they're coming back pretty good now. And these last couple of winters, it's really been better for them. And
oh, yeah.
And they're coming good.
Because less snow.
Yeah, and we're seeing that, and we've been up our way. We've been in other areas too, where they're hunting coyotes with the hounds now, and that's really effective way to take care of them.
You got to manage the coyotes.
Yeah, you got to.
I don't know why more people don't, but it's important. They're too efficient.
Yeah, and they follow the deer. When the deer start migrating down their trails, the coyotes are right behind them in their trails.
Oh, they're smarter than I am.
Yeah, they get in there and they try to live with them all
But they
winter.
are not coyotes. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, they ain't your traditional western
No, they
coyote.
are not.
No. Yeah, but we've really put them in check up our way as far as we got a good crew of guys with dogs, and I mean it's by every spring it's hard to find another coyote track.
Wow.
And then come fall, the next winter there's more because they migrate in from somewhere, and then
from Canada.
Yeah, anywhere, and I mean them will range long distances anyway, so they fill the void. You make a void and they're going to fill it,
Have you ever tried the coyote call with the tail?
No,
yeah.
I never have.
Oh, yeah.
That's
It works
amazing.
good.
It works. That will call in anything.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Every bobcat in the county.
They need visual. They need the commitment.
I've only seen it once. I was shocked by it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have the patience to sit there and wait.
Well, and the sound is horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you shoot the coyote?
No, the coyote was actually out of range, but we had like 3 cats come in.
3 cats?
Yeah. This
Bobcats?
is in Texas.
Oh.
I haven't done it in Maine.
Bobcats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which we saw nice lynx last week. Did you see any lynx up there?
I didn't see
During
any
the moose
last
hunt?
week, no. We were all up north moose hunting that first season when they have the first season in the northern zones.
Yep.
So we all go guide moose hunters up there.
You get one?
Yeah, my group got 3, your group got 5. Joe got one. He got drawn again this year. Joe.
Nice. How do you do that?
What, get drawn?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Nobody
funny you say
knows.
that because my family.
It's not funny that you say that.
No.
My family, meaning my immediate, just my wife and 2 kids. In the past 13 years, between the 4 of us, I think we have 6 tags.
Don't you hate him?
No way.
And I don't know, you know,
So you
like
know
I
someone in
drew one.
Augusta,
I
is what
drew
you're
one in
saying.
2017. I wish it was
That's what
that
I said,
easy.
Tucker.
I love that.
I drew one in
Rigging
20,
the moose lottery. I love it.
Selfish. That's what I call it.
2017 I drew, and then I drew this year. My daughter drew 2 years ago. My wife drew in 14. My son drew. Actually, the year that my daughter drew, my son drew the same year also.
Do you know John Gotti won the New York State lottery? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
I'm in good company, I guess.
Hey,
huh?
it took me 33 years to get drawn.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
I still haven't. I'm in the
Did you get a
30s.
veterans bump?
Nope. The only bump you get in that is when you turn
70.
Is it 70 or 65 now? I think it's 65.
Oh,
now.
it is now?
If you have if you have 30 bonus points
Yes.
and you turn 65, you're going to get one.
Yeah, it's an automatic
But
thing.
I got drawn again last year, and my grandson was my sub-permittee, so he shot the moose.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah. I got I got him a pump, a 760 pump.
No way.
In 300 Savage, and they didn't make a carbine, so I had the barrel cut. And last year, when he was 13, he shot a deer, bear, and moose all with it. One shot, all 3 of them.
No way.
Yeah. And he shot a bear this year was 344
Where?
up around Jackman.
Amazing.
He went with me every day, baited, hauled the barrels in with me, put the bait in every time we went, because he's homeschooled, so he can do that stuff.
I love that. My dogs just got sick eating molasses the other
Oh,
day. They did. My wife comes back. They found a pile and they went crazy.
They got into a bear bait, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's brag about Joe for a minute because he's had a heck of a season, though. Tell Tucker about your season. Both moves.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine and I went to Alaska the beginning of the month and shot Matt actually pulled the trigger on it, shot it. Well, we were, a hunt we did together, but it's
Giant. It's like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's where in Alaska?
It's southwest Alaska, so about 160 miles
That's where they
straight
are.
west of Anchorage.
Yes.
We've been going out the last few years. It's pretty awesome out there for moose hunting, for
Especially down
a
there.
drop camp.
Yeah.
72 inches wide. You should see the palms. We'll show you after.
But so anyway, yeah. So that was a great hunt, and then I had my hunt, here in Maine. Which, what was nice about it is, my daughter went along with me, and I had her as the sub, and she carried a rifle just in case, if for some reason, because I was using a bow, if I had a bad shot or something. But it ended up being worked out great. One shot, and so it was a great hunt.
You told me
A lot
she
of
was
fun.
calling in the yardage like a champion.
One shot.
Well, with the bow, you hope that's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah, it
so,
kinda has to
Yeah,
be.
it was a double lung. It was a good shot, but anyway, she was
At what range?
45 yards.
Damn.
So she was standing right next to me, which was great, and I didn't realize till afterwards that that was the first time that she was actually present for an archery kill. So she was like, "It was so quiet, Dad." I said, "Yeah, that's that's how it is." But yeah, it was a great week. I mean, it was a great week for everyone. We had, I think by Wednesday morning, we had all of our tags filled. It was, and a lot of that is
That's
just
crazy.
A lot of that boils down to conditions, and we were just fortunate this year to have the best conditions I can remember.
Whoa, beautiful.
For
Yeah, we
moose
had-
hunting, no wind.
And no wind. We had frost
Yep.
3 mornings in a row, and that's the
Yep.
key for moose hunting.
Yep.
If you get that frosty, clear weather.
But clients are a variable too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Just a great camp this year.
Yeah.
I mean, really, everyone was. All the clients were great. Everyone shot straight, no problems. So yeah, it was.
Any clients using a bow?
Nope. No, I was the only one in camp that used a bow. Although it looks like it's becoming a little more popular. I see
Yeah.
a few. There was 3 or 4 others I saw, like on the moose hunting pages. Guys that are using bows. So it is with moose. On a typical moose hunt, when you call them in, you're typically calling them in pretty close anyway. So it basically boils down to, once your opportunity comes for the shot, making the most of it and putting a good shot on. But you can usually get them in close enough.
Someone told me 20 years ago that people would be taking moose regular with bows. I mean, I just wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. It's it got me back into. I used to bow hunt quite a bit, and then probably the last 10 or 12 years, not much, but it kind of bit me again, the bug. After doing that.
Was it because you thought the bow didn't have the killing capacity for it, or because it's such a large
we're
animal?
all captives to the worlds that we live in, but I mean, I just didn't. That was a pretty esoteric thing, and that's where we live.
Yeah,
I knew more people who had jack deer and moose with 22s. Than I guess I shouldn't say.
I never even heard of anyone that's done that.
22 long rifle too. I mean, supposedly.
Yeah.
Which is kind of incredible.
Years ago, I was told that a Magnum was a much better choice because it was a lot more powerful but still quiet. But I wouldn't know anything about it.
I don't even shoot chipmunks with a 22. I mean, I like the 22 Magnum actually. I think it's like a fun.
A Magnum's a great round. Magnum and Hornet.
Yeah.
But
we rose of the school.
Whatever happened to 17 HMR, which was supposed to take over the world? Do you remember that?
The only thing they use them for now is prairie dogs.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
But I remember when that happened, and I totally fell for it and bought one. And but then you don't.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it, though.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's fun, but it was supposed when it came out, or at least when I first heard of it, it was supposed to change everything, and everyone's going to have 17 HMR.
Well, that's just like when the 6.5 Creedmoor come out. That was going to be it. You'd need no other caliber in the world.
Yeah, I didn't fall for that. But.
Me neither.
Yeah. Well, you shoot 36 out of a pump. I love that.
We've had many conversations, though, that it's very important bullet placement.
Yeah.
That's very important. So whether calibers are sort of like a taste. Like somebody likes a good scotch or a good bourbon, but 270 on up to 06, you can kill lots of things with those calibers. But you have to be proficient, which goes back to what when you said all in. I just had this conversation with my son because he wants to do a lot of things, and he really wants to be he is a good deer hunter, but he wants to be a great deer hunter. And I think I had this conversation. You can't be good at everything because he wants to play golf. And I said, you got to be all in on certain things.
Well, sure. And something that can carry your interest for a lifetime.
Yeah.
And I like to fly fish, and I fished a long time and a lot, and bird hunt, same thing. And I'm not bored at all. I don't think I'm very good relative to how good I should be for the days expended. And, I'm just interested. So if I'm interested at 54, I'll probably be interested in, if God willing, at 74.
None of us will stop deer hunting until we're gone.
Yeah,
that's just the way it is.
Yep.
Yeah, we've done it our whole lives, and it's a passion.
Yeah, it's good for you to be outside.
Yeah,
so we got to get you interested in this deer hunting in the big woods. So your assignment is to read them books, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
If anything in them books sparks your interest, you let me know.
Do you know Vernon Davis?
Vernon Davis, the name
from Bethel. I think he shot the biggest deer in Maine a couple years.
Yeah.
And he stalks them.
Yeah.
So that's what I would if I was going to do it, I would do that. But boy,
well, that's what we specialize in is tracking deer on snow. Yeah.
But that's not something I sort of feel like at this point, am I really going to pick that? I mean, that requires a lot. That's not just showing up at a blind with a rifle. I mean, but I would like to do that. I think that would be great.
Yeah, test your skills.
Yeah.
Because if you already... See, half the thing is, if you already hunt, you bird hunt, you're active in the woods, that's part of the battle. Because a lot of people that try to go track, it's because all they've ever did was sit in a tree stand. They've deer hunted that way. And it's like a culture shock to think about following a track.
So I don't like sitting. And by the way, I was hunting with a buddy of mine yesterday who's a big deer hunter, and we were partridge hunting, but we spent half the time tracking deer because he can't stop himself. But we didn't see any, but we saw a lot of they're there.
Yeah.
And they're getting excited, and it's obvious. And but I can't sit. I mean, I did duck hunt last week actually. 6 days ago I was duck hunting. 5 days ago, but I grew up sitting in duck blinds, and I need to walk around. As I get older.
There's your start. You're already.
Well, so that's why I would like to track deer.
Yeah,
I could see
that's
that.
right.
This is how we describe tracking deer. So if we have a fresh snow, it's like a book. It's an open
Yes.
white pages, and he's writing his story for that day.
Yes.
As you travel down that track, he's writing it in that book, and your job is to interpret it. And it takes experience, but you learn the behaviors of a deer no better way than being on the track of a deer and living his life.
Plus, it's sporting, which I
Just
like.
don't. If you don't, it's intoxicating. They're gonna become an obsession because if
So that's probably why I don't do it. Just what I need for obsessions.
You already told us you're a road hunter, so we covered that early on.
It's so funny. This is a big issue in my life, but if you grow of all the things that my father told me, and most of which I took seriously because I've always taken my father seriously and revered my father, and I still do. He's 82, but some of them you forget. But the hunting rules, boy, I never have forgotten those, and I can't get over them. And some of them are totally legitimate, and some of them are just preferences, but they're just ingrained in me. I can't.
Yeah, it's how you brought up.
I know, but that's sportsman. That's being a real sportsman.
Well, it's just if it happens when you're a kid, you just have your dad's clean your gun. Like I've never not cleaned my gun. It doesn't matter, And I just use a boar snake and a cloth. I'm not doing anything too complex, but even if I don't shoot it, I wipe it down.
Yeah.
Just because I hear his voice.
Yeah.
Right.
And not shooting from a moving vehicle or from a vehicle at all. Stuff like that. Just
none of those things
I
we
couldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
do it either. It's not the way I was brought
But
up.
just to be clear, I'm not judging anyone else.
No. No, but you're expressing the way that you feel. That's what we're here for, to get
Well,
to
I
know.
actually don't express it. I don't say anything about it.
Yeah, right.
Because I
Yeah.
I'm a guest. So I shut up. But,
Yeah, it's funny because different states have these different customs. Some things are acceptable in one state, right, for hunting, and some states they're not. It's like totally different. It's like
especially here.
right.
Especially here.
Yeah.
I mean, the regulations and the fishing regulations here are just the area where we fish is some of the best river fishing in Maine, for sure.
Right, sure.
I mean, Rapid River, Middle Dam, Lower Dam, the McGalloway system, it's amazing. But the fishing regs are such that, the season extends, another 2 weeks, but only only certain parts of the river, and it's not really marked. You have to know. Cedar Stump is, where's Cedar Stump? And that's literally a place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The outflow of the rapid into Umbagog, but where is the line exactly?
Right.
It's just very regulated in an old school way here and not marked,
Right.
which I love.
Yeah.
And no hunting on Sundays? What is that?
That's
a
an
big
old
debate.
rule.
Oh, I know it is,
Yeah.
but it has never changed.
No.
Yeah.
It's so ingrained. The issue with that now is the landowners reject it overwhelmingly, and since Maine has very little public land, right? I mean,
Not
you have
much,
hardly any
that's for
public
sure.
land. So if the landowners don't want it, it's probably not going to work because they're going to you can go fight and get in the legislature and get Sunday hunting, but if then all the landowners post the land where you're going to go hunt.
That's 100% right.
And that's kind of what the deal is. I just always had a thought, why not just have it on unorganized territories or
Right.
something like that? Because I think the North Maine Woods, especially that association, would welcome it because it'll bring revenue there.
Or on your own land.
Yeah, or on
Yeah.
your own
On
land.
your
right.
own land. I mean, I would like to hunt at my camp on Sundays.
Right, yeah.
But I can't.
But I think the problem is the way it always gets written up in the legislature. They never write it up. The bill is never written where you can say, okay, yeah, that's reasonable. It's always like all in or nothing is what they're trying to get, and it isn't going to work.
It is contentious. It's back in again.
It is.
It's going again. And
it's always going to go on, and there's people that are adamant we need Sunday hunting, and there's other people that are adamant we don't want Sunday hunting.
What do you think?
Well, I think, to me, I would go with a compromise where the unorganized territory or your private land, your own land, what is wrong with that? You know what I mean?
Well,
I don't think there's any objection to that.
I would like just to carve out for my land.
Yeah.
But
where
what they're going to say is the problem is enforcement. They're going to say,
well, they always do.
They're going to say, then we got to go start checking, land ownership and everything when someone says I'm on my land. I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I think that's
my sense
and they don't
is,
want
though,
the
the
fight.
culture has changed a little bit. Like I do think people poach less.
Yeah. There's
than
no.
they
no
used
question,
to, and I think that people, in general, obey the hunting and fishing laws. That is what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Much more than they used to.
There
And
seems to be more of a respect for the resource.
I totally agree, and fewer people are doing it.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah,
so
that's
the
for
people
sure.
who do it are more serious about it and kind of understand that it needs to be managed. And I don't know.
So I think, so you're right. So they should just say, put in a bill, you're allowed to hunt on Sundays on your own land. It's simple, right?
Yeah,
And get that passed.
I would be for that. I mean, I'm not saying I've ever done it, but it's a little bit tempting to walk around your own land
Yeah.
on Sundays with a gun.
You'd be surprised how large our audience is, Tucker. You're speaking to a lot of people here.
I mean, actually, what I do is I hunt every Sunday. I just don't fire the gun, but I bird hunt with my dogs, so they don't want to take a day off.
Right.
October is their Super Bowl. It's like
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah,
they live
for sure.
every day.
Yeah.
They're you'll meet them in a minute. They're coming over, but they're very psyched.
Yeah.
We kind of look at it sometimes, because everyone looks at it how it affects them, and for us, it's actually a good turnover day because what we do in the fall is work. So we have people coming in and going out of camp. So Sunday always is the turnover day. So we're not going to hunt anyway. And besides that, even before I was doing that, it was a forced day off for me because if I had Sunday to hunt, then I'm out there every day.
Well, this
And
is
that's
actually a
problem.
biblical principle.
Yeah.
When God hands down the rules to Moses on Mount Sinai, one of the first ones is you're not doing anything Sundays.
Right.
And it's amazing.
That's where it's from.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally where it's from. It's
Yep.
flu law, as you
Yeah.
said. But it's interesting how resistant people are to that. You have to force people not to work, actually. That's what
Yeah.
you learn there.
Yeah.
Or hunt,
Yeah, that's right.
So I kind of sit back and watch because I'm like in the place where whichever way it went, I'm okay with, is for the Sunday hunting. So it's, but I think it's going to be every year. It's going to be revisited and it's going to be one of these hot topics until something happens with it.
Yep. Yep, for sure. I mean, I don't know.
So we're all going to Tucker's land on Sunday and going.
Yeah.
That was the invite I heard.
I've never, just for the record, I'm not just saying this, I have never pulled the trigger on a Sunday. But I do, dogs need to be hunted.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So do we.
Yeah, I completely agree. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Well, it's a good family day too. That Sunday is supposed to be. My father was Italian, and he demanded us to be over on Sundays to have family dinner.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's an Italian thing.
Oh, definitely.
It's one of the best things
Yeah.
of their culture, I think.
Yeah.
It's one of the best things the Italians ever did.
Yeah. It was easy.
You hear that, John?
Italian meals. I would say my only complaint about the state of Maine was obviously my favorite place and spend most of my life here, but the food is not good, and it's because there's so few Italians. It's true.
My dad would love you.
It's English. No, it's English. Maine has more English people than any state.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the oldest state,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they just don't. And I am one of them, but they don't make good food. They just don't. They boil everything.
Yeah.
It's all in a package. When you have a place like Providence,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
they just have great food.
Sure.
Because they have a lot of Italians.
Federal Hill.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that? You say that because my wife likes to go out to eat once in a while.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter where we go to eat. The food's never good enough because she's a chef. She's been cooking for the hunters for so many years.
Oh.
She can't eat anything that's good
Yes.
enough.
Yes.
It's a problem for her. But I understand it. You know what I mean?
So you get great food at home.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We do. We all do.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Have you been to Casaleo's in Wilton?
No. Really? In
Oh,
Wilton,
yeah.
Maine?
Yeah. Yeah, it's in the old Bass Shoe Factory.
Really?
It's great Italian. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Because I had that was one of the things coming up from South Florida. That was the one thing that you definitely don't have choices of restaurants. So you got to drive a half hour, to
Yeah, we don't.
And it's getting better.
Yeah.
It's definitely
We don't
getting
have any
better.
restaurants in our town, in case you haven't noticed. We have a gas
Yeah.
station, that's it. And I've eaten there quite a bit, but I've given that up on health grounds. And so we don't go out to eat at all. We actually eat right here at this table.
Hey, Hal here. Just wanted to tell you we're excited about our partnership with Minus 33. Minus 33 specializes in merino wool base layers for outdoor enthusiasts, from tops and bottoms to hats, socks, gloves. And our gear is going to keep you warm and comfortable no matter what adventure you're on, especially those big woods ones. We're a fifth-generation family, owned and operated, a New Hampshire woolen textile manufacturer. They have over 106 years of woolen expertise, and they started manufacturing woolen socks, the Mountain Heritage ones, in New Hampshire in 2018, with the idea that a quality product, affordable pricing, and can be worn and loved from season to season, no matter what your experience level or skill is, so no one should feel uncomfortable or ill-prepared in the outdoor community. Having a reliable gear is one of the first steps towards a lifetime of passion or whatever activity it is. And my caveat to that is you got to wear your woolies. Cotton is death. Hey, Hal here. Finally got some good news for all you. Our jackets are finally in. It's been a long process, but we got them done and got them right with all our new features and stuff in them. So some of the new features we added was a game pouch in the back you can access from inside with dividers in it. It's just like the original one. Mine's the original one, not the new one. It's got your slash front pocket so you can get in and get at your GPS or whatever you carry in your front ones. They're all lined with, the pockets are lined with Microtech fleece, so it's nice and warm on your hands when you put it in. Microtech's fleece. Got your slash pockets here. Just 100% wool, virgin wool. I think it's 100% virgin wool, but it's 85% wool with some nylon to make it stronger. Tight woven. And the vest, I don't have the vest on it. The vest snaps on, your orange cape comes with it. And we're going to have the green checkered jackets come in 22-ounce wool, and we have plain green, forest green, same color as our pants that are coming, and those are in 18-ounce, a lighter wool, so you can have a 3-season jacket or a 4-season jacket. And the pants will be coming in a couple weeks, and just in time for deer season. So get them ordered up and we'll get them shipped right out to you. Good luck on the trail.
As you all know, Big Woods Bucks is devoted to promoting the best equipment for tracking and still hunting the big woods. Part of that equation for success is the sights that sit on your hunting rifle. We've chosen Skinner Sights as the company to produce our custom-built BWB Tracker Series Peep sight. It's constructed of solid steel, has our custom ghost ring, and was co-developed by some of the best trackers in the world. To get yours, go to bigwoodsbucks.com and click on the Optics tab.
Hey folks, Rick Libby here from Big Woods Bucks. I'm here today to tell you about our new packs. This is our new small pack, which the first time I saw it, Chris showed it to me and I said, that's the Nuna, because that's the perfect pack if I'm getting on a buck track at noon. And it'll hold the sandwich, your water, a little bit of gear. It's virgin wool, made in USA, waterproof resistant, has a liner on the inside. It's a great pack. This pack, this is our newest large pack, which when I used to carry the older pack, I always wore suspenders because it bothered my hips a little bit. So we designed one with shoulder straps, and this is a great pack. It takes the weight off your hips, puts it onto your shoulders. It's got a GPS pouch right here in the top you slide in. Same deal, it's water resistant on the inside, got that liner. It's a perfect pack. So I go to bigwoodsbucks.com, get yours today, and I'll see you on the track.
There was back when I was lobstering in southern Maine, in Lisbon, Maine, there's a restaurant, I believe it's still there. It's called Graziano's, and that was the best Italian food ever because he was a real Italian and moved there. And the motif of it was there was people, famous people from all over ate there. There'd be pictures of Muhammad Ali, everybody.
In Lisbon, Maine,
in
really?
Lisbon, yep. Graziano's. You should look it up. I'm not sure, but we used to go there like at least every other weekend, I think, get our Italian food. It was
We
awesome.
don't have anything like that here. The only Italian place is there's a butcher in Rumford, Maine called Naples, where you buy meat.
Yeah.
And it's I know the family, and they're Italians brought in to work in the mill there. But that's it. That's absolutely it. There's no food. There's a Dunkin' Donuts in South Paris, which serves donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you got to kill a moose, and you'll have the best meat you can.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is excellent.
It is. I've been telling everyone lately that the moose that we got in Alaska, we cut the inner loin out and we took it back to our tent, and I'm going to tell you it was the best piece of game meat that I've ever eaten.
Oh,
now,
I believe it.
A lot of it probably had to do with the circumstances because it always is better.
Did you eat it that night?
Oh yeah, and it's
Pull it
always
right out.
better right after a kill like that and after a hard day's work of, of cleaning it, quartering it up and doing all the work and stuff. But it was
Right
it
off
was some
the hoof.
amazing meat. Yeah.
So he taped the whole, a good part of the hunt. We did a short video and we put it on our YouTube channel. And the most watched part of it is them in the tent showing the humble abode, but also they're getting the inner loin ready. And people just love that.
Oh.
They love that.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You mean you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel?
he does
Really
now.
try and stay off the internet if I can.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I have a really good friend, my closest friend here, has a sawmill, and he subscribes to some channel. He's always sending me the videos of like girls in Daisy Duke shorts and halter tops running a sawmill. I think it's in Oregon. And the views on these, it's pretty weird, right? Hot girls sawing logs. But he sends me these videos. It'll be like 3 million views on these things.
Yeah.
And then the hunting
they're
videos and the
cashing
shooting
in.
videos. Man, you can fall into gun videos, like take over your whole life.
Oh, yeah.
Just Hickok 45 alone.
Yeah.
You could waste your whole day.
Right.
I'm just wondering how many people right now stop listening to the podcast and are looking for that YouTube channel.
No, I'm not. I could look it up. It's incredible. It's pretty mesmerizing.
Yeah.
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 That's funny.
Where do we go from there?
Let's talk about family again.
No, it's kind of naughty, but it's also very kind of wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well, if you look at fishing
some
channels,
girl in short shorts sawing a massive spruce, you're like, there's like nothing bad about that, really.
It's got to be the name of the channel, Naughty But Wholesome.
I don't know. I sit there on the couch with my wife at night. We look at some of this stuff, and go by a fishing channel that has a girl in a bikini, and they have 17 million views.
Oh,
and I'm
it's
like, just
unbelievable.
not fair.
It's unbelievable.
We work really hard for our views.
The formula is pretty simple, though.
Yeah, no, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. Not to say that I stay on that channel at all.
Yeah, we haven't broken 1 million views on anything yet.
Yeah,
That's not true.
Oh, yes, we did.
Yes,
on
we
Joe. Yeah, Joe posted it was
This was interesting.
this was kind of cool. It was a moose that he was videoing for a hunter that he didn't shoot. He let it go. Pretty nice moose too.
The hunter passed the moose up, so it was real good video. I'll show you the reel later. But anyway, the moose walks away, so we made a Facebook reel out of it, and it's at 27 million, I think, right now.
No way.
Yeah.
Bull moose?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
In one year, 27
At
million
what
views.
distance?
10 yards, 5 yards, I don't know. Close.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Why do you let it go?
Well, the funny he was an experienced hunter. He had actually been moose hunting with me before. It was Wednesday, so as part of wanting to keep hunting for the week, and
yeah, I get it,
and looking for something a little bigger. It was like a 42 or 43 inch bull. The ironic thing is he ended up shooting that same bull 2 days later, 3 miles away. We had no idea when he pulled the trigger that it was the same bull. In fact, I didn't realize it was the same moose until I got home and I started looking through footage, and I'm like, that looks like the bull that he shot. And we ended up going back and looking, so it was the same moose. So he ended up shooting it. So what's interesting about the views is half the people are mad because he didn't shoot it, and half the people are all excited and happy because he didn't shoot it. Because, whenever you get a Facebook reel, it bleeds over into the non-hunting segment too, which a click is a click, right? I mean, that's what you put it up there for, so who cares? But you get all the hate and,
Oh, you do, yeah.
I mean, there's just all those people out there. But so it actually is beneficial sometimes when you do something that captures the hunters and the anti-hunters, because it gets them both engaged. And I think that's the reason that it did so well.
Yeah, I don't want to get political at all, but I'm struck by two things. One, by how ignorant a lot of anti-hunters are.
Yes.
They don't know anything about animals. So if you love animals, you'd think you would learn a lot about animals. But I've never met an anti-hunting person, maybe I have, but I don't think I have, who really knows a lot about animals.
It's
none.
It's the hypocrisy is
it's just
unbelievable with most anti-hunters. I mean, if you tell me you never eat meat, you don't use anything meat, there are some people that are like out there and they live their life that way. So the way I look at it is that's your choice. You live that way, whatever, that's your principles. But it's the person that eats meat and, every week, is going to the grocery store and getting their burger and their steaks and everything and chicken. And for some reason, what I'm doing is wrong because I'm, taking a moose or a deer and then actually eating it myself.
But they're just ignorant, and they live so far from the natural world. I mean, I feel like, just being honest, I'm about as pro-animal as you can be. I mean, I really love animals, honestly, more than I like most people. I'm hardly anti-animal at all.
We're all conservationists.
Well,
as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly.
We try hard to preserve it.
Of course.
What those people don't understand is the hunters are the ones that are protecting the game more than anything.
But they don't. That's my point. Is they don't know anything about how it works.
They don't, and it's just one of those things that I've come to accept, and I don't let it bother me at all. I mean, I do get probably in some animated arguments with people sometimes that have a really ignorant view of it. Try to educate them, but I know it's not going to affect my life because I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing, and I don't care what they think or what they do. I'm never going to stop.
Well, you should ask them, tell me about the life cycle of a deer. What do deer eat? Do you know?
Yeah, right.
They don't know anything.
No, they don't care.
And the other thing I always like to say is who made it their job to decide to be the protector of the animals,
Yeah.
So anyway, the good thing is that everyone that listens to this is on our side and understands where we're coming from, and they have the same feelings with the respect for the animals, and that is something. There's always, and we're going to be doing a podcast on our
deep respect for
on
the
Alaska moose hunt, but I'm going to say I've walked up to a lot of dead animals over the years that I've either killed myself or been there when someone else killed it. Never have I had the feeling walking up next to the moose that we just got in Alaska, number one, for the sheer size of it, because it was just a giant, the antlers, the body, everything. But it's if you don't have a huge amount of respect for the animal when it's laying there dead and a thankfulness, and there's something wrong with you. And there are people out there, I always say it's like there is an evolution in a hunter. When you first start out, when you're a kid and a teenager, you got your BB gun, you want to kill everything there is, and it's to be close to it. Yeah,
we all have.
And that as you get older and you mature and you learn more about it, then you evolve into the conservationist, which is where we hope to all end up, where you're hunting for sport, you're hunting for food, you're hunting because for whatever reason, there's something inside of us from the dawn of man that just drives us to do this.
100%.
And our friend Donnie, in one of his films, says, even if you're the president of PETA, your ancestors were hunters, whether you like it or not.
Exactly.
And so people just have to get back to that, the basics.
Well, yeah. And I, that is absolutely true about how you change, especially as you get older and you see death, because it becomes a greater feature of your life as you age. People die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you see them die, and it's, you just have a lot more respect for it. I didn't realize that it changed in me until a few years ago. I was with my dogs, and we're getting ready for, the season, whatever. It's like September, maybe late August, and I'm just running patterns with them just to remind them, no, they're not tennis ball dogs. No one gives a shit about your tennis ball. You're bird dogs. No, I'm serious. Because my wife throws a lot of tennis balls, and then so there's always this reorientation in the fall. That's not the point of life, is to get your stupid tennis ball. You're a bird dog. So I take them out, and I just couldn't. And I didn't even have a shot. I had a 22 with me, but just to because they want the gun in your hand. I'm wandering along, and there's a chipmunk in a tree at some distance, and I'm like, decent shot. Anyway, I dropped this chipmunk, kill the chipmunk for no reason. I just wasn't thinking about it. And my dogs can smell lead, so they bring the chipmunk back to me. And my first thought was, why did I kill that chipmunk? It's just a chipmunk. But I actually legitimately felt bad about it. He's frolicking around doing his chipmunk things, preparing for winter.
We call it itchy trigger finger.
100%. And I actually felt bad. I felt like
But isn't that what a true sportsman's supposed to feel like?
Yeah, but I never felt that way.
Yeah, I know.
And I really felt, I've killed a lot of animals, but I never have felt that way. But this was pointless and mean. And I thought, wow, I'm really changing inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is part of, it's no question, it's part of getting older, and everybody doesn't do it, but I think most people do, because a lot of times now, I feel bad for the animals.
Yeah, of
really.
course.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you shouldn't kill them.
Right.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
It's respect for the animal.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And about 15 years ago, we had some coons in our soffits in the cabins.
You don't want that.
So I had to get them out. I pried the boards off, and there was three little ones in one and two in another. So we had 5 baby coons, and the mothers went out. So my wife goes, I said, I'm going to just put them in a sack and throw them in the river.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, you're not going to do that. I'll take care of them. So she takes 5 little baby coons.
No.
Yeah. First night, she's up all night feeding them one at a time because they're crying all night. She goes, I can't take care of 5. I go, no, you can't take care of 5. So there was a woman from town that was doing it quite a bit, and she was kind of secluded. So I took 3 up there. There was 3 males in one litter, and it was 2 females in the other. So I'll keep the females. So she kept the 2 females and raised them up in the house. And they were the nicest little pets you could ever imagine.
I love raccoons.
And to this day, from then on, I could never kill a coon.
Nope.
Never could kill a coon.
I feel the same way. It's funny. I will admit I have shot raccoons, but now I would.
No.
I don't think I could. I really like raccoons.
Yeah. We have them. We live pretty much in the sticks up there, and my wife feeds everything.
Yeah.
Everything that comes in the yard, she's going to figure out some food. If she's got to look up on the internet what that animal eats, she'll get it for them.
Oh, I love that.
And so we got the coons now, and I just put the board. We got Gorby birds that come every year, the Canadian jays.
Yeah.
And if I put the board out on the deck for the winter, I put it on 2 posts, and I can feed them on that because I can flip-flop out onto the deck from the living room and put their feed out. And then in the summer, there's just bird feeders around the yard. So those Gorbies show up in late September, mid-September, and they're looking in the window because they know they're looking in the sliding door. They know that's where the food comes from. So I got to put the board out. But anyways, we feed them all winter. But in March, the coons are starting to mate, and they come out even though there's snow, and they know that board's there, and they'll start coming on the deck. So she's got to feed the coons. So then she feeds the coons all summer. I mean, she'll make a regular supper. She'll put it in a pie plate and and she'll compartmentize it and take it out, and then a pan of water because they got to have some water with their food.
Oh yeah.
And she does that every night.
I love that.
Takes care of the coons. We don't kill the chipmunks around the yard, but we got to shoot the red squirrels because they're like rats.
I
and
agree
the
with
dog
that.
trees are red squirrels. I got lab, and but we don't kill any chipmunks.
What about porcupines?
We don't have any up there.
Oh, kill everyone.
I kill. That's the one animal I will kill my whole life on sight.
Yeah.
Period. Just on. I had a dog who I really loved. Springer, lived till 16, and I would always tell everybody this is the smartest animal in the animal kingdom. This is smarter than a porpoise. Like this animal's freaking genius. This dog could do my taxes. And one year that dog ate a porcupine. This supposedly brilliant animal. This dog not only bit a porcupine but kept chewing. It took me 4 hours to get the quills out, back of her tongue, her throat, roof of her mouth. And she hated it. I'm sitting there with my reading glasses and a flashlight and needle nose pliers, and I just lectured her the whole time. Like, you're an idiot. I told everyone you were smart. You weren't. You ate a porcupine. And ever since then, all my dogs have eaten porcupines.
There's something about it with dogs. I know.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Have your dogs gotten into porcupines?
The beagles when I was younger in southern Maine, but I've never seen. I don't know was the last time I've seen a porcupine up here.
We had one this summer. My brothers, all 4 of his dogs got a porcupine. They all took a bite, and he puts them in the truck to bring them home. And one of the dogs falls out of the truck, and the porcupine quills get driven into her chest. The dog had to have 2 surgeries.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine get into them, and my GSPs. It's all the drive. If a dog's got hunt drive, it doesn't care, and it's going to go bite them. And I've had to take like 30 out of my mouth, all in the tongue.
They don't
I've had
like
to take
it.
them to the vet a couple times and put them down. We actually had, I think 2 mornings ago, I hear Liz hollering, trying to get them in the house, like for their first let out in the morning. And I'm like, that's not good. It's either a porcupine or a skunk. And as I ran out to see, it was a skunk. Oh. And,
that'll wreck your day.
They just got a tinge of it to where it didn't get them too bad. So it was lucky. But yeah, porcupines and skunks.
The skunk, if they get the full blast, it's very intense.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Like next level.
Yeah. It's a problem.
Yeah.
But fortunately, they didn't get the full dose.
And the tomato juice thing does not work.
No. There was a product, though, that Liz found online somewhere that helps a lot. It was a wash, and we keep it right handy. But yeah, it's hunt drive. If a dog's got drive, because we said the same thing. As smart as those dogs are, they can't figure out a porcupine. They got to run over to it. And
it's so disappointing.
Yeah.
I really was disappointed in this dog.
But the porcupines are a lot more prevalent around Skowhegan, Hal. I don't see them up north either, but boy, we got them at home.
Once in a while in the woods, I'll see where there was a porcupine's been living because the bark's all chewed off. But I mean,
they're
rare.
Destructive animals too. They'll eat your camp.
Yeah, we have so many fisher up there. I think that's why the fishers are the only thing that they can eat the quills and it doesn't bother them. It dissolves.
What?
A fisher.
I love fisher.
Yeah, me too. So a fisher can eat a porcupine with no effect to the quills. Something in their body dissolves the quills.
Well, they're tough
fine.
little rodents.
They are badass.
They are.
I called one in about a couple of years ago, about 10 yards from us, while we were turkey hunting with my son.
No
it was
way.
the coolest thing in the world. Yeah.
A fisher?
Oh, yeah. He thought I was a turkey, and he wanted to kill me, but he figured out what we were, and my son's like, "Are we going to have to shoot him?" I'm like, "No, just don't move." And he just figured out what we would look, and he took off running, but it was cool to interact.
I love that.
Those are the cool things that people that think we're barbarians because we hunt. When we interact with animals, I used to call it living with the animals.
Yes.
I'd love to show my son that, too.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
There's so much to experience in the woods. Definitely.
It's the most interesting place there is.
So
most peaceful, too.
Yes.
So you were a kid when you were coming up here. So at what point did you start hunting?
Oh, always. I mean,
always. Your dad was taking you back.
My dad was into it, and my dad and my brother. Now I'm bragging, are very good shots. Excellent shotgun shot, like instinctive shooters, both of them. It's a personality thing. I'm a decent shot just because I've done it so much, but I'm not. I don't have that. It's very much the kind of person who's a good wing shooter. You can tell in the personality immediately. It's probably not someone you want your daughter to date, but it's someone who, there are two kinds. I obviously my brother's my best friend. I'm not in any way criticizing my brother, but it's like There are two kinds of people: the people who sniff something before they put it in their mouth, and the kind who just put it in their mouth.
Yeah.
And the guy who puts it in his mouth without thinking, that guy tends to be a very good bird hunter. And they're both like that. It just snap. It's just called snap shooting, and they're really, really good. So, I mean, my brother won a competition last year with a 410 sporting.
Your brother older or younger?
He's a year younger.
Yeah.
You shoot with a 410 too. I was
Not,
reading
you know, I have a lot of problems with the 410. I'm left-handed red-eye dominant, so that's completely defined to my life in a lot of ways.
Left-handed.
Do you just close your eye though? Shoot one eye?
I don't. I mean, rifles, yes, and handguns, but shotgun, no. I keep them both open, and it's definitely. I shoot side by side, which helps. I think everyone hates side by side, but I've always used it, and I still do, because it's just a bigger plane, and I think it works better for me. And my brother does also shoot side by side, but I'm just not as good as I should be, I would say, but still, good enough for me.
You shoot skeet a lot?
I shoot skeet a lot. Yeah. Well, yeah, I do. I mean, I shoot skeet all through the summer. We have a little range that I really like on top of a hill.
Yeah.
I lug in the Marine battery. It's like killing my back. Yeah. But yeah, I shoot because it's fun.
Yeah.
And it just keeps you. You just have to shoot if you're going to be decent at it.
Swing is everything, right?
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's absolutely. Actually, the mount, I feel like, is everything.
Even hitting a running deer, that's how you practice with a rifle. Hitting a running deer is, well, I did at least, because I couldn't hit anything at first. And then when I learned my swing, I got much better at it.
And you just need to get it up into the pocket, and
he calls it cheek weld.
It's totally right. It's completely right. And I mean, I always shoot, because I was taught to do this as a kid. If I'm shooting clay birds, I always shoot from a down position. I never start up like that, just because you got to get the mount right. And if you don't feel it in your cheekbone, you're going to miss the bird.
Right.
Period. And grouse hunting is so fast.
Oh yeah.
That unless that's muscle memory, it's just you're not going to hit anything. So
we talk a lot about muscle memory, and that's that all that practice of you don't ever think about bringing up your rifle, putting the safety off. If you do, the deer's gone, especially when you track.
Totally right. But 410, I just can't get it. I don't know. I have a couple 410 shotguns that I really like, and I'll go dick around with them, but I would never bring it into the field. I love 28. I think it's just a great bore, but the rounds are too expensive. So I don't use 12 at all for anything anymore. It's just too much gun for me. So I shoot 20, 1 ounce, number 6s, whatever, because it's heavy cover. So
you like to shoot steel too, I read.
I do shoot steel, just because, especially here, to build a range, you need a chainsaw and about $30 worth of steel. That's it. And even the soft, crappy steel, because I'm shooting, at 100 yards, who cares?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and I like it. And since Gunbroker became a thing, I've lost control a tiny bit. But I really try to set limits on gun purchases. And I don't buy anything expensive, period.
Yeah.
So it used to be $600. Now I've moved it to probably more like $850. But I'm not buying, and I don't need it. I have a lot of guns, but I bought recently an 8mm Mauser, which is just and it was cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll buy the corrosive ammo. I don't care because I clean it. You know what I mean? So that stuff's super cheap, and it's a totally fun gun. The machining on the Mauser bolt is just incredible. I mean, this gun was made 80 years ago.
Yep.
And I like Ruger a lot. And it's better than the Ruger 77. I don't know if you know that line.
Sure do.
For a cheap gun, it's just got a great action on it. The Mauser, I think that gun cost me $700. It's incredible how well it's made. I just can't get over it. I like bolt guns and I like lever guns.
You like lever guns?
I love lever guns.
Yeah, you know what my first shotgun was for rabbit hunting? When I was 10, my grandfather gave it to me. It was a 16 gauge Mauser action German gun. One of his brothers brought it back from World War I.
No way.
That was my first.
And they sporterized it.
No,
they did.
It was original.
No way.
You put one in the magazine. Yeah. You put one in the barrel.
Yeah.
Mauser action. No bluing on it. just
because it's
metal.
got the Mausers have a great safety. It's
Yeah.
like super obvious. It swings across the back of the bolt.
Half cock.
Exactly.
And all the way
Exactly.
Over.
I was shooting it the
My
other day.
first rabbit gun.
Oh, that's so fun. I love that. That's kind of all. I mean, I remember people shooting 303 British, or people shot, because people were poor, and they shot. Oh, there's my wife. Let's see if our dogs are here. I don't know if you want me to bring them in. Oh, you can bring him in.
Sure.
Dogs are always welcome in the barn, Susie.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry.
Oh, we got to show you a gun then.
You brought a gun?
Yeah. So we did this special run of Henry's.
Yeah.
I know you like Henry's. Yeah. And so it's a Big Woods Bucks model,
Oh, so what's it chambered in?
22, so we can shoot steel.
So it's a plinker.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, that is so cool. Oh, but so can I just say the one thing I like about I think the barrels are too heavy, but that's better.
Yeah, it's just a 22.
And I love the tube, can I say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that's the best. That's the problem with the...
So we had Andy Larson that owns Skinner Sights, did the engraving, and he put.
You're a lefty?
Oh, I'm a left-handed.
Oh, we're not going to hold it against you.
You like the Peep sight on there?
I love Peep sights.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
That's your gun now.
No, I can't do
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
Yeah,
we got it
it's your
for
gun.
you.
You guys are so nice. Susie, look at that. Oh, I'm going to shoot. Okay, can I just introduce my dogs?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Hey, Brookie, come here. Okay, this is my Springer Brookie. Hey, Brookie.
Oh, he's back.
She's very
trying to
shy.
find a bird over there.
And she's like a genius. That dog is really smart. And Alice is our English cocker. And
She's friendly.
She's
She's
so
very friendly. Hi, sweetheart.
She's never been described as a genius, but she's got the best nose of any dog.
Alice. I like
that,
it.
That dog. No. This is a hunting podcast, so I can brag about the dogs.
Yep.
This is my wife Susie.
Come on in.
She thinks I brag about the dogs too much.
No way.
But Alice can smell a bird at a full run. I've never seen a dog do that.
Really?
Because they're flushing dogs, so they run. And Alice can be, on a skidder track, a full gallop, and she will just stop, and there's a bird there.
Yeah, that's nice.
And her nose is totally reliable.
Nice.
I know she doesn't seem that brilliant meeting her.
Oh, no. Don't judge a book by its character.
Can you pass me that again? The Henry? That is so
we did that
cool.
Yeah. So our company is based on education and not entertainment. We just try to help other people to become the woodsmen that we are. And one of the things that we teach is the 3 Ps: practice, patience, and persistence. And that's a great way to bring a kid shooting, isn't it?
A kid? I'm 54.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
gonna shoot
Hey,
with this
I got
today.
that all. I got that all sighted in for you. How's
Yeah.
that?
This is
So we got together with Henry and did a special run
Do
of
you like
100.
peep sights?
Yeah.
So we shoot.
I do too.
Yeah.
I love them. I don't. So you guys don't use complex optics?
Well, some of the guys use scopes.
I
but
use scopes.
Yeah.
I don't think anything too complex about them. Just basic.
Some of them now they
have.
have range finders in them, and I think that takes out the sport of it.
I've shot them.
Yeah.
I've only done distance shooting one time. A friend of mine got completely obsessed, went crazy, middle-aged crazy, as you do.
All in.
All in.
Yeah.
He hired an armorer. I mean, he made a lot of
nice.
money, and he went totally nuts. And but the sight on it was Lapua and shooting at a mile, and it was like calculating the curvature of the earth and all this stuff. And I was like, I shoot iron sights. Like I'm not. I find the scopes always make me feel like I have Parkinson's because you can see you see how unsteady you are.
Yeah.
And with iron sights, I feel like I'm pretty steady. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm pretty good, but
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just don't see any practical application for distance shooting in Maine. Maybe I'm missing something, but
Pretty rare.
Maybe the guys that sit on the power lines or something.
that's right.
That's about it. Or fields. A lot of them, they're starting to get in, since the Outdoor Channel, the guys are getting into the huts out in the fields and food plots and all that stuff. But
Yeah, but if you get a deer at 70 yards and it's down through, you can see it with the binoculars, but you can't. You can sneak one down with a scope.
yeah,
Whereas with a peep, it'd be hard to get on that deer. You know, there's applications to
I can
it.
sneak one
I'm
pretty
sure
good
that's-
with
Yeah,
my
but you're
peep.
rare. They broke the mold with you.
I
so.
just have never. I don't think I have been anywhere, at least in the county that I live in, where you can see more than 100 yards in
Yeah.
any direction ever.
And some people just can't shoot a peep either. They just don't get the concept of it, and they need a
Really?
little more technical. Oh yeah. Definitely. We've had plenty of guys.
Really?
A couple of guys on the team.
That's the simplest concept there is. Put it in the middle.
Yeah,
There is,
you don't
but
really
but-
even have to do
Yeah,
that.
but people don't. They used to either the iron sights, like the buckhorns that come on a gun, because most guns don't come with a peep sight, right? They come with a buckhorn sight.
Yeah.
And they got to line that up. So they think the peep is more difficult, which it isn't, because all you got to do is look at the bead, and that's it.
Well, it's the same concept. You just put it in the...
How come you shoot a scope?
One reason is that a peep can be tough is when your eyesight starts getting bad.
That's
if you're
true.
either near-sighted or far-sighted, that'll affect it. But the biggest reason is I missed a couple deer with a peep sight that I felt confident I would have hit with a scope. And the biggest reason was a scope you can use sometimes if a deer is in something, without pulling binoculars out and stuff, you can use it for looking if you see a deer, seeing what it is for antlers or whatever it is. And, I just came to the realization that I was better with the scope than a peep. So that's what I do. And, I can shoot a peep all right, but
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, it's whatever works for you.
yeah.
Definitely.
And I find it's probably, I don't know percentage, but it seems like it's about half and half, with the guys that are tracking, guys that whether they, hey, puppy dog.
What I found
Alice?
with
That's Alice. Yeah, Alice is a really sweet animal.
She is.
my one of my father's cousins, when I started going to the hunting lodge when I was 16, and he gave me a Remington 721 270, and it had a scope, low power Weaver scope with a post, and I loved that. I used it. I had never used a scope before, but then when I started hunting up north in the bigger woods, it was always full of snow. It was always wet. I'm wiping it out.
Yeah.
It's fogged up. So I said, I got to do something
The
different.
my fear was scopes. I mean, I have a couple scoped rifles just to dick around with, but I always feel like I'm going to smack it, and it's going to come out of true. It's going to be, but I won't know. Like, how would you know?
You wouldn't.
Well, that's how I feel. You know what I mean?
But they can take a. They're
The
pretty
newer
sturdy.
scopes are.
That's what everybody says.
definitely.
And some of the scope mounts, like I had in fact, a Ruger 77 in 357, which is such a fun carbine. Probably not any great hunting application for it, but so fun. And the scope mounts on the Rugers are just unbelievably tight. Like, do you know how those little half turn things?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely a preference thing. I think whatever you're more comfortable. The biggest thing with scopes and the type of hunting that we do is getting snow in the scope all the time. You're constantly battling that, but there's ways to fix that too. So,
Yep.
but
You guys
But
must
yeah.
be sad when the spring comes.
no, that's shed season.
Yeah.
That's where he looks for moose sheds.
We turkey hunt and start fishing.
Yeah.
There's
Stay in
always
the-
a season.
Stay in the outdoors. As long as I'm with my son and these guys, I don't care what we're doing. We're having a good time, right?
It'll change a boy's life more than any
Yeah.
other thing.
But-
It has, for sure.
But right now is definitely the best time of year. We're right in the
couldn't
middle
agree
of
more.
moose
I
season.
couldn't agree more.
We're all moose hunting
Oh,
next
so
week, and
beautiful,
then
too.
right after moose season, we get into deer season, and
I'm going hunting this afternoon.
Soon as we let you go, huh?
I think that's the cue to
Yep.
wrap this
No,
thing up.
no, it's not. No. It's just
Overmodulation.
It is. So sorry.
No problem.
I'm too
Come
loud
on,
for your
Tucker.
microphones.
It's like you've never been on a mic before
No,
or something.
I trust me. I've blown out many an audio director's earphones with my yelling. But October and November in Maine are just like the highest level of excellent. I mean, so yesterday I was hunting up on this place called Swan Hill near here, and it was so pretty that I actually stopped and took a picture. And then I thought, man, I'm getting fruity and weak in my old age. I'm literally taking a picture, but I did because it's just too
I
unbelievable.
do that all the time. You sit there like going back to the Alaska trip. I was thinking, you're sitting there looking at this. I mean, it's just you can't even describe it.
Yes.
The beauty out there, and you're sitting there, and I always have the feeling like you want to share it with everyone. You want people to like. I wish everyone could experience this and see this, because I think the world would be a better place.
I totally agree.
If people got out and actually
But it's
did
very
stuff
hard
like
to
that.
capture it. I'm not
It
a very
is.
good photographer, but I saw yesterday, we don't have a lot of big spruce here. In fact, almost none. We have some very big white pines. but very few big spruce or cedar. We just don't, and I don't know why. But I saw, and apparently out west they have huge spruce, but it's a rare thing to see one. And I saw one yesterday, and I was just like, what the hell? Is that a spruce tree? Oh my gosh. And somehow, for the last 150 years of cutting on this mountain, there's been a lot of cutting, they missed this tree, or I don't know, didn't cut it. And I have to take a picture of that. Yeah. So I take a picture of it. I look at it later.
I found out it was a fir.
No, it was a spruce. Come on, I can tell the difference. I'm not a forest.
That was an insult.
But even I know. Exactly. It was a hemlock, and I had no idea. But no, I didn't. I looked at it later. I really like trees, and it just looked like a clump of evergreen. I couldn't.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? I couldn't get perspective on it.
Right.
Yeah, that is true. A lot of times you see things and the camera just
the
doesn't
majesty
capture
of it.
Yeah.
If you ever try to take a picture of the stars, I do that too.
So I think this is getting, like, I'm going to be 58 this year, and so I
What?
sometimes, yeah.
You're old.
I know. Tell me about it. My wife reminds me all the time. But, you know, you stand there next to a big tree like that, and you say, what kind of game went past here over the years?
Oh,
You'll think back a little bit, and it helps you distance yourself from the craziness of the world, and you think, and that's what that peace comes in, right? We crave it as older people. I don't want to say that, but just as getting more mature maybe is what it is. But you crave some of that stuff.
Well,
now.
especially the trees, because you think, I mean, here obviously, and most of Maine, it's still active logging, but right on the shores of the ponds or on the rivers, they probably haven't cut those in a while. And we have some real trees on, say, the Rapid River system or the Megalloway, and you think, that tree's been there. Like, probably it was a seedling during the Civil War, some of them.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's what it's seen. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So were you able to keep your have you always been able to keep your fall hunting schedule where you were able to hunt as much, or
No.
this is relatively new then?
Yeah, I mean, I've just worked a lot, and I've traveled a lot. One thing I've always done my whole life is gone on hunting trips with my brother and my son and my dad and nephews. And that's always been very, very important. And we have certain trips, I think just like everybody, that, it's like, whatever, we do this trip this time every year.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And they have all these, weird traditions or whatever. We do certain things,
usually bird hunting trips.
Certain trips. Yeah, bird hunting trips. Though I got sucked into the pig thing for a while, but I'm not doing that anymore. It felt dirty doing that. I'm sorry. Well, people out there hunting with black guns? Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I just don't like it.
Yeah.
But whatever. I have a lot of thoughts about that. By the way, they do need to manage the pigs in
yeah.
a lot of places.
They taste good too.
They do. I mean, there's a lot about it that I like, but I just decided for me, I gut shot a sow with a 12 gauge slug, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. It was my fault, 100%. But whatever. But the point is, and fishing too. We've done a lot of fishing trips, a lot, and go to Canada or whatever.
Yeah, I saw you. I read that you did a trip with your son up to Labrador. What part of Labrador did you go to?
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, there really is there's Labrador City, and that's it.
Yep.
I mean, there's nothing. Have you been up there?
Yep.
There's nothing there. And, boy, you got to like float planes if you're going to Labrador, and luckily I do. Actually, the lodge that we went to, which is a wonderful place run by a great guy, I think you got to be a great guy to live that life. I mean, it's so out of step with society. But
right.
But the plane crashed the week before we went, and just wiped out all the guests and the guide and everything, and lost actually. It crashed in a meteor strike lake. I think it's one of the very few in Canada. They think the lake, and it's enormously, it's like 1,000 feet deep. It's not a glacial lake. Most of our lakes here obviously are glacial. This was a meteor strike lake, and the plane just disappeared. They found a couple of bodies, but some of them were never found. So it's very, I mean, there are no roads in Labrador at all. And the mosquitoes, I'm not bothered by mosquitoes or ticks for some reason. It's one of my great advantages as someone who lives here. I'm not bothered. I can have 10 ticks on me, and I'm just like, wipe them off. It doesn't bother me. And mosquitoes, I don't ever use bug spray. I smoke tobacco sometimes in the early summer when they're very intense. I'll smoke a cigar or whatever. Used to smoke cigarettes, and that does, that
Yeah,
really
it keeps
is
them away.
But it does.
Yeah.
But in general, I'm not bothered by mosquitoes at all. And Labrador, I was bothered by mosquitoes. I mean, it's just next level. Is that one of my dogs eating something? Hey. No. Alice, whatever you're doing, stop.
Sitting there politely.
Okay, good. Anyway, the mosquitoes in Labrador are, did you notice that?
Yeah, the bugs, when I went up, I didn't remember the bugs being so bad. This last trip that we just did, the black flies were bad in Alaska. But as far as mosquitoes, and I'm like you, where the bugs don't really ever bother me too much.
They don't bother me, no.
But yeah, we were up, the trip I did, we were up in June. It was second or third week in June. And I don't remember the bugs, but the fishing was phenomenal.
The fishing is ridiculous. It's all streamer fishing, but I like streamer fishing. And the only time I've only been bothered by bugs twice in my whole life. Once I got swarmed. I was floating the Yellowstone outside Livingston, Montana, and a thunderstorm came in. And I'm sure you've been out west when the storms come in, and you can see it at like 5 miles away. Such a different landscape. And it was intense. So we pulled over, and I got swarmed. The guy I was fishing with, and we're in a boat. We got swarmed with an actual cloud of mosquitoes. I'd never seen that before. Where I thought, what is that? It was this darkness, and I had like 1,000 mosquitoes on me. That bothered me. And then 3 or 4 years ago, I was fishing with my son on a remote lake here called Bee Pond, which is a great near the Rapid River. You have to hike in, and we camped. We spent the night with the dog in a tent. Totally fine. It's 5 a.m. I have to take a leak, of course, because I'm middle-aged. I go outside the tent, and I got swarmed with a cloud like that. And it was so bad that I took the embers of the fire and built a smudge fire and stood over it with one leg on either side of the fire, doing up my boxer shorts, and I just stood there, and I couldn't move. I mean, it was that bad.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, but I don't... Do you guys ever get that? No, I don't either. It was only twice in my life.
Ticks don't bother me. I mean, I don't like them, but...
My wife and I
bother me.
keep a mug next to our bed, and because we have 4 dogs sleeping with us, and they're always covered in ticks, and so she takes the ticks and puts them in a mug. And we're not bothered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, all right. I guess we got to wrap this up so you can get hunting, huh?
Yeah.
I can't believe you drove all this way to our humble barn in our very humble town to bring me a rifle. I'm just grateful. Thank you.
And a moose on antler.
And a moose shed, which is going on my wall.
Yeah, nice. Thanks to Joe.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know how to bring.
Joe's like the king of that.
I can't believe you find those
that.
sheds.
Incredible.
My dogs have brought me one shed in their entire lives.
Well, that's a good dog.
Yeah,
brought you the shed.
It was a tiny little deer spike, and I was like, really, that's your shed? There are moose everywhere.
Yeah.
Tucker, they got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Do your dogs find those?
My daughter and son-in-law's dog finds them. Can find them. Yeah, he didn't find that one, but he's trained
That's
now.
an
So
amazing one.
yeah,
What's his name?
Timber.
Oh, that's right.
What kind of dog?
It's a chocolate lab.
Those can be,
Labs are the best for
They're
antler hunting.
Labs are the best antler finders.
Yeah.
they've just been bred out. It's hard to. My son. Now I'm bragging, but my son has a golden retriever of all breeds. It's a red-coated golden retriever, who's an amazing hunting dog. And I have such a low opinion of golden retrievers because they're just been bred to chase balls and eat popcorn. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pee in the mudroom. But this dog is unbelievable. And my son told me that it's like at this point it's a different breed. Like the hunting breed. This is true for springers too. The hunting breed is so different from the conventional pet store breed that they don't even look alike anymore.
Yeah, there's 2 in the labs. There's an English lab and an American lab. And the American labs are kind of the bred out ones.
I know.
There's a lot of good breeders that have the English. That's good.
I love the English
That's
labs.
what we always get was the English
They're
labs.
beautiful animals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I could talk about dogs all day.
Family, too.
Yeah.
We talked about that before.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. You're
Well-
not bragging about your son. I love to talk about my son, too.
Yeah, no, it's embarrassing.
I got to share with him the first deer he ever got, and I got to see him kneel down right in front of it when he killed it, and thank God. And then he said, "Dad, I'm going to put food on the table," and that was one of my proudest moments ever.
How old was he?
He's 12. He's 17 now.
I love that.
It's the greatest.
All the horrible.
We all share that. I think that's part of a hunting heritage is sharing. Is Do you agree with that? Being with your family?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
yeah,
killing that moose with Leah was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Watching Ryland kill.
It's the whole point.
Yeah, it really is.
And it saves boys. You don't want to be a boy right now in the United States.
Yes.
It's not a good country to be a boy at
Right.
all. And everything's against you. Everyone hates you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's just a lot of soul-destroying temptation out there. And I do think the outdoors, the sporting life will save boys. And I've seen it a lot.
People used to say to me, you put a gun in a 12-year-old's hand.
Yeah.
Yes, he's accountable.
Yeah.
He's responsible, and he's learned about that, and he's becoming a man because of it.
I'd trust Mike. I never, whatever.
I didn't even
shouldn't
think
admit
about
this.
that.
I never lock my guns up because my kids
neither.
grew up with guns. So
I don't know either.
my kids
Yeah.
are about as crazy about gun safety as you could be because they grew up with it. Every gun is loaded. Boy,
Right.
Yeah, it's just part of their lifestyle.
I will say it's funny. The last thing I'll say, but it's like my kids. I think got trained at a better than I did when I was young. Because if I'm being honest, like we actually didn't really respect how dangerous guns were in the house that I grew up in. We always had guns everywhere and like just guns. It's not a big deal. It's like a chainsaw. It's like it's fine. It's just sitting there.
Same exact way I looked at it too. It's same.
And that's bad.
Yeah.
That is bad.
Yeah.
And
It's a
and
tool.
I have that attitude actually about guns. And sometimes I think when I'm alone, shooting alone or whatever, I'm like, I'm not very safe with guns. I really should be. I should be. I always clean them.
Right, come get that gun from me.
No. I'm trying. I'm trying
I know.
to be that way. But yeah. Anyway. Sorry.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
The outdoors is best for the kids. That's what we promote passing it on to the next generation, right?
There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
And it's not being passed on. I just know. I mean, and we always say in my family, it's like good for us that everyone else is on the freaking internet because there's no one out there anymore.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
But it's not good, actually.
It's not.
I know.
Because we obviously need the numbers. You need to have it carry on. I mean, we have to have people following and people. It is nice when you have a piece of woods to yourself or whatever. But what's that mean for the future?
But also, you want the Sportsman's Alliance of Maine to be like a big political force.
Yeah.
You want the snow machine guys and the ATV guys.
Oh, we're talking snowmobiles now.
Oh,
See, Chris,
geez.
I said it. Here we go.
No, but it's true. Like
This is for you, Lee.
The clubs need to be powerful in Maine.
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, that's
Whatever
right.
you think of them. Like I don't ride snowmobiles or ATVs personally. I like to go on foot. However, it's very important for them to have
Yeah.
power.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah,
'cause
I
they're
actually-
good people for one thing.
We run I'm actually president of our club up there. We run
Oh,
a
you are?
snowmobile
Oh,
club.
good.
Yeah, we do all the grooming and all
Thought
that.
you gave that up.
No, I just gave up half the trails.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still, but yeah, it's what you're saying is true. So it takes all that effort in order to make it happen. And if it doesn't happen, the state's in big trouble because that's our income in the winter.
But it also should be a political force because those are the best people in your town, are the ones who in February are getting up early, putting on their suits and going outside. Like, what does that say about you?
Right.
You don't have to do that. And like, no offense, but half the state is just like drunk. In the winter, it's hard. Winter's hard. People drink too much. And the guys who are
I
out-
take that as a personal shot.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
It's a joke.
if you're choosing your sled over Allen's Coffee Brandy, I want you
Yeah.
to have power in the legislature. That's how I
Right.
feel.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
No, that's
Fair.
Yeah, definitely.
Funny that you mentioned Allen's Coffee Brandy.
Are you a fan?
No.
The Champagne of Maine?
What happened was
Champagne of Maine.
when we had it for 10 years or so, we ran a restaurant and bar out of the lodge and caters only to snowmobile. And we were only open in the wintertime.
Oh, I know what that looks
And
like.
so when we did our first order, the local sales guy's like, well, you want to stock up on Allen's Coffee Brandy because you're going to go through a lot of it. I'm like, really? Never even heard of it. So we get all these bottles of Allen's, and I think when we closed it down a few years ago, we had the same number of Allen's. I mean, we literally sold no Allen's.
Really?
Because, well,
Is it all Fireball now?
no, because most of the snowmobilers that were stopping in, destination snowmobilers, were from out of state. So the out-of-staters weren't drinking.
So Allen's Coffee Brandy was
Yeah.
the best-selling alcoholic beverage in the state of Maine for many, many years in every category, from the morning eye openers, ounce shots, all the way to the handles. And now it's been, I think, eclipsed by Fireball. But behind that bar we have a case of Allen's because people drink Allen's.
Oh, yeah.
Fat ass in a glass. That's
Yeah.
what we call it.
Yeah. Well known as that.
It is
Fireball.
not good.
Getting
for
an
you.
education today.
Yeah, that's the what is the drink they make with the Kahlua and stuff?
Well,
sombrero.
But it's
the
a cheap
sombrero,
way to do it. Yeah. It's a cheap way to make a sombrero.
I don't drink at all anymore, but
Yeah.
when we had the president of El Salvador here. Actually, I took him partridge hunting last year. And we had dinner in this barn, and he's a wonderful guy, but he's obviously from El Salvador. And he said, "What are your local foods?" And I was like, "Well, it's Maine. Like the fig Newton really is our kind of local food here. There's no lobster here." But I said, "There is this thing called Allen's Coffee Brandy. Oh, I would like some." So I poured him a glass, and he doesn't drink, but he's like, "I will taste it." Poured him a glass of Allen's Coffee Brandy. He thought it was the greatest thing he'd ever had. And it is the cheapest. It's just like grain alcohol and syrup, and he loved it.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, that time I had the president of Guatemala over to my house. I gave.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was so long. It was. I was interviewing him, but
No, I know.
Bukele, he's such a wonderful man. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah,
thank you for having
thank you,
us.
For
Tucker.
indulging my weirdness, and thank you for the rifle in the shed. This
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it? Yeah, I think that's guaranteed. And the tube load is not just for little kids. Like that's a really efficient way to load your rifle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Harry makes a really quality rifle. They really make a nice rifle.
I've got a lot of these.
Yep.
The only downside to the tube load when you're using it, in the old days when people used them for poaching, is every time you had to unload it, you had to pull that tube out instead of just taking a.
Yeah,
He was
but
thinking
it's
about
hard.
that.
I mean, the side gate on some of my rifles is like you're just ramming them in there, especially in the 30 caliber.
Those are great shooting little guns. You'll like
They're
that.
great.
Yeah.
And some of them are wicked accurate. I shoot these well. I'm not quite sure why.
Andy made a special case too. It says Big Woods, but it's just for that particular gun because he makes
so
those.
cool.
So, yeah.
Thank you. And thank you for the Peep sight.
Yeah.
I said I wouldn't shoot chipmunks anymore. But
There you go.
now that I have this, it's entirely possible.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thanks,
Time to
Tucker.
wrap it up. So, everyone, hope you enjoyed the show here today. Don't forget to thank our sponsors. Hit the subscribe button. What else am I missing? I'm always missing something.
Tucker, do you use OnX?
No, I don't.
All right. Before we leave,
But I should.
We're going to have that app on your phone.
I should.
Oh yeah.
OnX.
I don't use it. I use a Garmin. That's it.
Nah.
Handheld. I know. But then I'm
OnX.
not.
We're going to drag you out of the dark ages, I guess.
Yeah, that's the old man saying that too.
Yeah.
We drug him out.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I'd come out of the dark ages kicking and screaming, so you
He
can.
does good though.
I use the Garmin and I use the Dogtra collars. That's it. Which in my family are known as the bad dog collars. If I say to my dogs, we're putting on the bad dog collars, they go crazy. They're so excited.
Just a quick tip: that satellite imagery will help with cover and stuff.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just,
We can take care of that for you.
Our camp has no electricity or running water.
Oh
and
yeah,
I love it.
I get it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I've
Yeah.
gotten
We like that, too,
I've
but-
gotten crazier in
Yeah.
my old age.
Yeah. No.
All right, then. Time to wrap it up. Until next time, good luck on the trail.
Hi, everyone. Team member Mark Sheeran here. I've been helping people solve their addictions for the last 34 years. In 2017, we published the revolutionary non-12-step book, The Freedom Model for Addictions. If you'd like a free paperback copy sent directly to you, go to freebook.freedommodel.org. That's freebook.freedommodel.org. All right, take care.
Hey guys, Joe here. Wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Lake Parlin Lodge. We're a 4-season lodge located just south of Jackman. We've got cabins, lodge rooms, mini lodge. We're a big snowmobile destination in the winter, full restaurant, bar, all the amenities that you need for your trip. Open all obviously through the summer, right on the lake. Kayaks, canoes, all included with the cabin. We also do a lot of weddings, so if you're looking for a destination wedding, we can do a wedding up to 200 people. And of course, we've got our hunting season, moose season, deer season. So check us out. We're at lakeparlinlodge.com.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Till next time, good luck on the trail.